Welcome back to Front and Center, Military Talk Radio with Rick Rogers. Podcast of the show will be up a little bit later today at www.defensetracker.com. Also on iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, Dig. Got them all. Sex crimes have grabbed the Pentagon's attention like never before. So common is the crime that the three-letter acronym associated with it is nearly as well known as TBI for traumatic brain injury or PTS for post-traumatic stress. MST stands for military sexual trauma, and its numbers are rising because sexual assaults are at staggering levels. Nearly 400 sexual assaults were reported between 2005 and 2011 at Camp Pendleton, and according to estimates, that's just 13% of all actual cases. Sexual assault experts estimate that 19,000 service members were sexually assaulted last year. Congress is so fed up with the situation that some members are talking about forming an independent counsel to handle all sexual assault prosecutions. Military branches are pledging to do much more. Marine Commandant General James Amos this summer announced a zero-tolerance plan to stamp out sexual assaults by getting tough on offenders. But some think the Commandant said too much, that his words have potentially biased the trials for Marines accused of sexual crimes. There are a handful of cases in which defense lawyers for Marines charged with sex crimes are alleging unlawful command influence. They're alleging that UCI has tainted their cases. If these are successful, you can expect many more challenges in the future. Joining me to talk about this is Brian Bouffard. He is a Texas attorney and former Navy lawyer who served at Camp Pendleton. He is currently defending a Marine charged with a sexual assault. Brian Bouffard, welcome to Front and Center, Military Talk Radio.
Good afternoon, Rick. Thanks for having me.
So tell me, what did Marine Commandant James Amos say about sexual assaults that have some in the military community, especially the defense lawyers, so concerned?
Well, you know, really what he's done on the surface you might not think is so terrible. I mean, he is saying sexual assault is bad. He is saying that it's a problem, that it's just anathema to the core values of the Marine Corps. And to that extent, I don't think any sane person would disagree. But what he's done is actually gone farther than that, and he is essentially monkeying with the presumption of innocence and the realization that just because someone is accused of a crime, any crime, doesn't mean that they're automatically guilty. And what the Commandant is doing and has done is he's personally gone out to all of his officers and staff NCOs who are going to be members of military juries in all upcoming cases and told them, hey, I personally see lenient results in courts-martial come across my desk, and I'm disappointed in it, and I think you people are weak and soft when you deliver lenient results. And that's essentially what he's done, and that's what the problem is.
What did he say specifically that some feel would so prejudice cases? I mean, did he say, maybe not by name, but did he suggest what percentage of people are guilty out there?
Well, as a matter of fact, he did. He did not divulge the provenance of this statistic, and even as I sit here today, I don't know where he's getting this information, but he's basically told jury members that, hey, I, the Commandant, I want you to believe me when I say that 80% of allegations are legitimate. He says this not knowing anything about individual facts, not a stitch of evidence coming in, but everybody is all primed to follow their Commandant's word when he says, hey, you can just, as soon as you walk into the courtroom and look at a charge sheet and it says sexual assault on it, you can be 80% sure that that person is guilty. And that type of attitude may be commonplace in some other countries, but not America. That's not what our system is built to establish.
Well, for those of you that may not be familiar with military justice system, how much weight do you think that saying that the Commandant saying something like this would really have over a panel of Marine members?
Well, normally we have, in our military justice system, we have military judges who are almost uniformly outstanding lawyers. They are typically in the rank of 04 to 06. That's major to colonel or lieutenant commander to captain in the Navy. And regardless of what their rank is, they enjoy a positional authority such that when they're the military judge, it doesn't matter who's in that courtroom, who's on the witness stand. It could be a four-star general. That military judge is the one in charge, and that is the person that will give the law to the members so that they can make the appropriate decision. What the commandant has done, and I think very gratuitously, I don't think there was any need for him to have done this, but he did. And when he's talking to his officers and staff NCOs, he actually told them, hey, my lawyers don't want me to talk about certain things, but I'm going to talk about them anyway. And he said at his speeches, defense lawyers, they love it when I talk about this stuff because then they can try to throw me under the bus for unlawful command influence. And what that's done is that has implicitly, in fact almost explicitly, given court members license to ignore what lawyers tell them. And the lawyer that they really need to be listening to in any particular case is the military judge, who's going to tell them, hey, that Constitution that you swore an oath to support and defend, that tells you that there's a presumption of innocence in this case and that the government has to prove guilt. And if they don't prove guilt, this person is not guilty. The commandant has come in and has, like I said, just kind of monkeyed with that basic tenet of American law.
You're listening to Front and Center, Military Talk Radio with Rick Rogers. I'm talking to attorney Brian Bouffard. He is a Texas attorney, and he has a case, a sexual assault case, and he is arguing that the commandant, Marine Commandant James Amos, has committed essentially a UCI, which is unlawful command influence, concerning some of the sexual assault cases. Brian, how important is UCI, and can you explain it for our audience?
Absolutely. Unlawful command influence has been said by our very highest courts to be the mortal enemy of military justice. When someone joins the Marine Corps, I'm just using the Marine Corps as an example. It applies to all services. But when someone joins the Marine Corps, when fathers and mothers send their sons and daughters to join the Marine Corps, we all expect that the leadership is going to take care of those people, okay? And one of the ways that Marines are taken care of is that they are in a system in which if they are accused of a crime, then they enjoy many, in fact, most of the protections that all of us as American citizens do. And the main one is to be given a fair trial. And that's all we're asking for is a fair trial. We just feel that in this instance, the commandant has taken that concept of a fair trial and turned that on its head for political reasons. Again, I'm not bashing the commandant for not wanting sexual assaults to occur in the military. No one wants that, but we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and we don't start executing jaywalkers just because we don't like crime.
Do any military judges agree with what you have to say? Has this argument of unlawful command influence been brought before any military judges, and if so, what have they ruled?
Well, it has, and this is literally an ongoing issue, even as of just this last week. But military judges, in fact, in my case out of Quantico, Virginia, the military judge in that case did rule that the commandant has committed unlawful command influence, black letter law unlawful command influence. You are not allowed to censure members of a court-martial for the results that they reach, and that's exactly what he did. So there's no question that the commandant has committed UCI. What we're still kind of hashing out and working on right now is what is the remedy going to be.
Do you think? Okay.
Go ahead.
Do you think in a perverse way that by the commandant speaking out about the way he has about sexual assaults, that some people who have been accused might actually end up getting off because of substantiated UCI?
Well, I do think that that's possible. Whenever there's an allegation, I think every sane person would agree that allegation is either true or false.